Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in for another episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. Tis I, Colton Robertson, and I am joined by Joseph George. What is up, homie?
What up? What up? Glad to be here.
I'm glad you are here because today is the Sweet 16 of this here Marvel character tournament. It's been a fun one so far. We've had the round of 64 that's available in two parts a couple weeks back. Round of 32 available in two parts as well. And we'll see how long this round of 16 takes us. The Sweet 16 here. It's going to be a fun one. Far and away the most difficult, which might lend itself to being one of the longer episodes. So
less matchups, but very difficult matchups.
Yeah.
So this will be very difficult. That's for sure. Looking at these matchups, it's going to be very hard to see some of these characters go.
100%. And I want to lay it down for the people again. If you are here for the first time, this isn't exactly the place to jump in. I'd suggest you go back to the round of 64 or even beyond that. Head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where all the planning and the seeding is available, where we had to limit it to 64 characters because we had more than that. And what we ultimately concluded was that we should do this based mostly upon on-screen appearance. Obviously, the comic book characters that have only been a part of comic books are extremely fun, but we have a deeper connection to those that have appeared on screen. We've given them more viewings. We've had a deeper connection to them. We've seen them more. And therefore, it is more often than not, we'll fall back on their on-screen appearances. So just that's a nice preface going into this, because I know that some people will be like, well, that's the wrong choice here. And it's like, maybe so, but we're doing it a different way. So that's got to be the preface here. So let's jump into this Sweet 16. We're starting with a 1 seed versus a 5 seed. And this is a fun matchup because you see people wanting them to pair up all the time on screen in Spider-Man versus Deadpool. And it's easy because Spider-Man's Spider-Man. And it's hard to beat the most iconic Marvel character in their repertoire. He's far and away the most iconic, but we got to give Deadpool his love here because Deadpool, I'll say modern era, 2015 to now, Deadpool has had better movies than Spider-Man for my money.
I mean, yeah.
I enjoy Homecoming and I enjoy Far From Home, but Deadpool 1 and 2 are fucking hysterical and emotionally resonant.
They're actually just good movies.
They're good movies.
Yeah.
And, it's only when we start going further and further back that it's like, okay, well, it's obviously Spider-Man that is the abject better character.
But Ryan
his history
Reynolds,
on screen with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and even prior to that, and
hard to beat. Yeah,
hard
to beat Spidey, but I mean, Marvel, they do one thing right. They cast very well. Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, it just fits.
It's perfect.
I can't think of another human on Earth that would really fit the Deadpool character more. It's like Tony.
I'll say it's a real fun possibility. Deadpool coming into the Marvel universe after the multiverse is open, because I think it would be awesome in a Deadpool movie for him to run into Deadpool variants that are played by other actors that just aren't as good in the role. So it's like, what the fuck is this even? Like, what are we even doing here? I think that would be a really fun possibility.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of another actor, but it really is like how Robert Downey Jr. fits Iron Man, and how like even the character spills into their real life, whether it's the character that inspired the real life or the real life that inspired the character. Like it feels like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool is the same way. Like it's how he lives his life.
It's the brand.
You know?
The brand of comedy
on
that
brand.
they really present. That it's like that is just so obviously Ryan Reynolds' bread and butter in terms of the comedy he's presenting before you. And I mean, because you've seen it in all his roles. He is literally always this way comedically. I think to like the Change Up, which we covered on this very podcast, and like it's somewhere in the 50s for episodes, which is a while ago now, almost 100. Him and Jason Bateman, they have a hilarious dynamic in that movie. I mean, Ryan Reynolds and Free Guy, even as recently as Free Guy, his brand of comedy is just that sarcastic, quick-witted, hit you in the face with it, and just keep fucking with you. Like, I love it. And I mean, far and away a funnier character than Spider-Man. There's no doubt about it. And if we were strictly talking, you know, last 5-6 years, I'd take Deadpool over Peter Parker, but we're not.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's got to go to Peter Parker.
Deadpool honestly could take out the MCU if he wanted to. He does it in the comics, which is, you know, like a guy that just can't die. Pretty OP. I don't know, just I think there's What If Season 2. Hopefully, if Deadpool's introduced in the MCU before What If Season 2, I would love to see some What If with Deadpool. Just because, like, the concept of a guy who's just, he can't die, you know,
he can just be around in any story.
If you, like, even decapitating him doesn't kill him, right?
No, he literally, like, in Deadpool 2, he explodes his body.
Yeah, like literally, he can be reduced to atoms, basically. Thanos could reduce him to atoms still, and he could come back. Wow. Yeah, he's I don't know. I love Deadpool. It's a perfect character for the MCU, and I can't wait until he's like interacting with our other.
And they've already confirmed that Deadpool 3 will be an R-rated film under Disney. So I'm
glad they're keeping it that way. Yeah.
I'm glad they're doing that too. I mean, like, and by no means do these movies have to be R-rated or anything. They'll do a good job no matter what, I think. However, the character Deadpool, as he's been presented to us so far, lends himself to an R rating.
It makes the movie funnier too. Allows them to be a lot more funny. So it
does. Oh, and I mean, like, have you seen that? There's this TikTok going around of MCU characters being asked to fuck, marry, kill. It's like the actors on a red carpet, like, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can't say that. Like, this is a Disney movie for kids." Like, and then like it's cutting through all of them, and Tom Holland's like, "Fuck, marry, kill." Like picks who he'd fuck, marry, and kill.
Nice.
So nice. I think that if you let Peter Parker go, like, seep over into a Deadpool movie somehow, it could be really funny.
Just like polar opposites.
But I think it'd be funny to see them rub off on each other a little bit, which I know Deadpool would make some sick joke out of. But
yeah, I'm excited for the future of Deadpool. That's for sure. You know, the future of Spider-Man, I'm obviously excited for, but
I mean, that one's a lot more present. And by the time this episode has come out, the second trailer will have been released for Spider-Man No Way Home a couple of weeks ago. But as we speak, it is the day of the second Spider-Man No Way Home trailer releasing. But we're a couple hours away from it. So
not out, just checked. Just making sure.
So like we'll have talked about it at some point on the podcast a couple of weeks back. I can't say yet because I'm not there yet, doing some time traveling, planning ahead and shit. Oh yeah, another disclaimer with this bracket. No Eternals involved, and the reason is truly that we had not seen the movie at the time that we started the bracket. However, I'm going to write it off to not wanting to have any recency bias, because I can tell you for sure a couple characters would have made it deep into this bracket fresh off of viewing that movie. Like deep. And frankly, we need to let those characters breathe before I can make a rational decision on whether or not they should make it deep in this bracket. So I feel comfortable with leaving them out for now. But fuck, I love all those characters, bro. Like all of them would have made it, and they would have taken up almost a fucking sixth of the bracket. Like
it's so hard. Like I hate to say, like, I think it's my favorite thing Marvel's released this year, other than What If. What If, like, it was just right up my alley, perfect for me. I loved it. It's my favorite thing Marvel's put out this year for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even last year too. Like, I love What If. But Eternals, like, just hit a nerve. Like, it just hit all the boxes. And I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if I like it more than Shang-Chi or not, and that's like where I'm struggling. Like leveling those two movies is like, which one do I hold higher, Eternals or Shang-Chi right now?
And if you want more on that discussion, head to episode 144 a few weeks back where we discussed the Eternals at length with our friend Aurora Carter, where we just, I'm in awe of that movie, and I can't wait to talk about it. I have my gripes too, because I do think, yeah, more on that on episode 144.
True.
Go check that out. But yeah, so the 1 seed Spider-Man defeats the 5 seed Deadpool and moves on to the Elite Eight, where he will face either a 2 seed or a 3 seed in the Scarlet Witch versus the Hulk. Now, this is one where the disclaimer I gave at the beginning is very
important.
Comics, history-wise, you probably go Hulk. That's a more iconic character. It's obvious. It's the Hulk. Everyone know Hulk smash.
Everyone know Hulk smash.
However, the power of WandaVision alone is immense. Like,
yeah, if we're going on screen,
and then you factor in Infinity War, okay, then you factor in Endgame, and you're like, okay, wow, and then you factor in Civil War, and you're like, okay, this is getting, and then you factor in Age of Ultron, and frankly, Wanda Maximoff is one of the best characters in the entire MCU. Cannot say the same for Hulk. Hulk rocks. Hulk's dope.
They did.
He ain't Wanda though.
They did.
He
Hulk
ain't Wanda though.
Wanda, for one, is just way more of an interesting character than Hulk. They could have made the Hulk a way more interesting character if they, dealt with more of his internal conflict with the Hulk. And Bruce,
we still got time. Got time. Maybe we'll get around to it. She-Hulk coming up.
And I guess we can. I'm comfortable already saying Scarlet Witch is winning this one, so I'm saying my farewells.
My vote casts for Scarlet Witch.
I think this is the closest matchup that is the clearest winner, in my opinion. It just on screen, the Hulk isn't very strong. They could I wish they would have done a lot more with this character. But recently, talking about the Hulk, in the one of, I guess, I don't know, maybe I don't want to, because it is a post-credit scene, Shang-Chi, but I guess it's out on Disney Plus.
Shang-Chi's available on Disney Plus now. Spoilers are fair game. Sorry. Spoilers for Shang-Chi ahead.
Just a post-credit scene. Won't say what the situation is, but Bruce shows up in just Bruce form. He's not he's
not
mix.
Professor Hulk.
He's not Professor Hulk. He's not Hulk. He's just Bruce, which is interesting. Whether
I had not considered that.
Yeah, whether they're going with the conflict between them is over and they can just kind of freeform however they want, or whether it was just they didn't want to pay the money to put Professor Hulk in just a post-credit scene, and maybe they're not thinking of the logistics there. With this,
yeah,
I really think that his character just gets tossed aside. I don't know. That's how I feel every time I watch, anything
it
that
absolutely
Bruce Banner's
does.
in.
And like we've referenced this every week that we've talked about this, but like there's no better example of his character getting tossed aside than when he told them he tried to commit suicide and everybody was just like, all right, well, back to the task at hand then. Like that was like a literal on-screen representation of the character being tossed aside. And they turn it into something fun, but at the end of Age of Ultron, again, they literally toss him aside by sending him onto a Quinjet into the deep universe. Like,
because he had to. Like, at that point, like, they needed to just send his character away. Like, I think they realized, like, shit, like, we kind of missed the bag here. Just send him away. We'll bring him back when we know what to do with him. And Ragnarok, like, he was awesome in Ragnarok. Yeah, like, he was like that. That was, I think, his best performance. Was in Ragnarok. It was more a fun movie. I think this is the Hulk that Marvel was going for.
I will say, if there's any movie that kind of captured the inner conflict of Hulk well, it was Ultron. The way that Natasha's always, the sun's getting real low, buddy. Holds his hand, eases it, like, and they try to expand on that love story a little bit in that movie. It doesn't. That one never really hit right. It just like they never really did what needed to be done there. It just felt a little, and like especially after Age of Ultron, whenever she pushes him down and the Hulk is forced to come out, and she's like, "But I need him," and it's like, "Damn, I feel you," but like, rough messaging here.
Yeah, Bruce really. I feel really bad for Bruce. Like even his epic moment in the first Avengers movie where he goes, "I'm always angry," like kind of doesn't really make sense when you think about it, and really isn't like that cool of a reveal. Like it's just, I don't know. Like I really feel bad for his character. They could have done a lot more. And the first movie kind of throws a wrench into things, the changing of the actor, like it's kind of just a weird thing in the MCU, but comic wise, if they just gave him a fraction of what the Hulk is like in the comics, like would be way better. But he's not. Well, and like,
there's still the possibility we can go there because, I mean, they showed like Mark Ruffalo seems very in, like, he's very down to play Hulk for a while,
and he knows like a lot of the Marvel secrets too. Like he's in on like one of the tight circles. Like even though he likes to spoil some stuff in the past, I think now he like with all of his other people that he acted with leaving, and he's like going to be the old guy that stays there that knows all of the past experiences and stuff.
It's him and Chris Hemsworth, baby.
Yeah, is he confirmed to being like She-Hulk at all? Like,
he was a part of the sizzle reel for She-Hulk.
That's good.
He appeared testing the woman.
That's right.
Who is She-Hulk? Jennifer Walters. Yeah, so he's definitely coming back. And hopefully in that we get a little bit more of an expansion on the Hulk dynamic because he's not the only one who has to deal with it anymore. So maybe they kind of bond in that and figure out how to live with it through each other a little bit. It could be really interesting because while he's training her, he could also be learning a lot about himself, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
I dig. Yeah. Hopefully, these shows like.
They do so much justice to these characters, dude. And that's the reason Wanda's moving on here. It's crazy because I gave her all that credit for Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. I never would have got there without WandaVision.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
WandaVision makes you realize how great of a character she's always been. Like, she seemed like a side character because we were watching Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, like fight Ultron. Like, she seemed like a side character. She was initially, but like you don't think about her story that much. You get this deep dive of a show. You literally go into her childhood, the vision she has, like we get her like origin story basically.
Yeah.
Like once you have all of that information, going back watching those movies just makes elevates the character even higher. And
Absolutely does. And I can't wait for the Hulk to potentially get something like that. Because frankly, I don't think they're gonna do another shot at a Hulk movie. I think if She-Hulk goes well, perceived well, we have a better chance than ever that Mark Ruffalo will get his own Hulk series. Because Hulk historically, like Lou Ferrigno had a Hulk TV show. Hulk was a cartoon. Hulk makes sense as a TV show type of thing. Like, it can be played out so much better in that medium, I feel like, than a movie can do it justice.
So many cool Hulk storylines too, like where he's the only one left and he just gets mad depressed, or like World Ender Hulk,
Planet Hulk.
Just like, just Hulk that can sneeze and blow up a universe. I don't know, but I'm excited for the future of Hulk. Definitely more tuned into the future of Wanda, though.
That's going to be much more compelling in the near future, and therefore Wanda is the more exciting character here, and Wanda will be moving on. Therefore, we have Wanda winning over the Hulk. Wanda advancing to this here Elite 8. So, on to the next matchup, where we have a 2 versus a 3. And what is, personally, the toughest matchup for me. 2 versus 3, Black Panther versus Wolverine. Now,
I don't know where. I don't know what my answer is right now.
No, I have zero clue. This is the most clueless I've been the whole tournament. All the way back to the first part of the rounds of 64.
I'm thinking
this is the worst. This is the worst.
Let's just go Black Panther. He's been in obviously his own movie since Civil War,
Infinity War
Endgame. Wolverine, obviously all the X-Men. Logan is kind of, and like the iconicism of Wolverine, like if I have a gut reaction, it's kind of Wolverine. But like as a character though, and like, I love the character of Black Panther more than I love the character of Wolverine. Especially with his what if, that possibility, like that Black Panther.
I guess what we should be saying is T'Challa.
True. That's true.
Not strictly
T'Challa.
Black Panther T'Challa, but T'Challa Star-Lord and shit like that. Like there's a lot to consider here. Now the problem I have is that Wolverine, my love for Wolverine goes back to early childhood. Far and away one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Right there next to Spider-Man and Batman for me was Wolverine. So, I didn't get familiar with Black Panther until a little bit later, whenever, I got like action figures of Black Panther and stuff. I didn't know who he was or what the character was, but I had a Black Panther action figure and I thought it looked dope. So I loved playing with that action figure. So quickly, I mean, like when you're a kid, the reasons you decide your favorite characters are complete nonsense. I decided my favorite athletes based on what their names were. How cool is your name? Do I like your name? Yeah. There's a reason Dante Culpepper was one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. And it was because his name was Culpepper. I don't know.
Fair. I chose.
When I saw that Black Panther costume as a child, I was like, okay, yeah, this is fucking cool. And then the moment Black Panther had, it's Black Panther. It is Black Panther for me. Like, I love Wolverine so fucking much, and I hate to see him go here, but it's the Black Panther. And Wolverine's had impact, to be sure. Kept Marvel alive for years there with the X-Men. And those movies are fantastic. And Logan one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen in my life. It's like top 3 for me in terms of what I think what the best comic book movies are. But he never had the cultural impact that T'Challa had in 2018. The moment that the Black Panther had in the first 6 months of 2018, because of Black Panther releasing in February and then Infinity War following it. I guess that was the next year. Or wait, no. Infinity War would have been a year before the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No.
2018. No, I got it mixed up. They were 1 year apart, Infinity War and Endgame. Infinity War was a few months after Black Panther in May, or maybe even the first week of April. And then Endgame was the next year. Sorry, the pandemic fucks me up in terms of when
it throws off the whole timeline.
Because I'm thinking Endgame was 2020 for some reason, but that's just absolutely not the case. It was a whole year sooner, so I think Infinity War was 2 years earlier, but it's not. The fact that they did that turnaround, Infinity War 2018, and then a year later Endgame, fucking insane.
That.
But
wow.
Yeah, the moment that T'Challa had there, because February and then April, T'Challa was a focus point of these movies.
The album, the movie, literally everything about this movie, was huge. I'm trying to think of another Marvel release that's not a team-up movie that was as big as this one. And No Way Home is going to be the only thing to come close. I am very comfortable pushing Black Panther through here.
I am too. And I want to give Logan his moment though, because I'm gonna tell you, this is my favorite X-Men, and we do a monthly X-Men podcast because of how much I love the X-Men. Wolverine. I think there's this just sadness and anger, and the fact that he can overcome that sadness and anger and find a family in Charles Xavier and in Jean Grey and even in Scott Summers. I think that it's a really compelling character, and I think that the movies have done him a really good justice.
Having Hugh Jackman helps too.
Hugh Jackman's a god, dude. I love Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
I love Hugh Jackman to death.
Logan, that movie is so good. Just as a movie, take out the superhero part. It doesn't it's not a superhero movie. Frankly, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If they want to retire Logan, I'm cool with that. Make the MCU's Weapon X and Wolverine Laura Kinney. That'd be dope too. Because Hugh Jackman did such a good job with that character. And obviously the character's out there. I want them to reinterpret it because it's the MCU. Fuck it. I'm here for it. But I would get it if they were just actually, we're just going to do Laura Kinney. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Because Hugh Jackman did dominate that role and was iconic in it.
Hugh Jackman's Wolverine look is almost as iconic of the character as the yellow and blue suit. The yellow and blue suit's more iconic.
Well, yeah. Historically, it's more iconic. There's no doubt. But to a 2000s kid,
you mentioned
it's
Wolverine,
probably more
and
iconic.
The first thing that pops
blue
in someone's mind now when they hear Wolverine is Hugh Jackman. The sideburns, the hair, that's what
the white
exactly.
beater, and
that's what you think
the
of.
Cigar.
And I love Wolverine. I'm finally getting back into the X-Men, watching the movies again. So I'm rediscovering all these characters again.
If Aurora's cool with it, I'd love to have you on as many Mutants Monthly as possible, because the more the merrier when we're talking X-Men. That shit's just so much fun.
Yeah, she's basically my X-Men expert right now. And as
she knows that shit front to fucking back. She knows it better than I do, and I love the X-Men, dude. So I was whenever she was the one who came up with the idea. Even we workshopped it a little bit, but I was like absolutely in whenever she wanted to do it.
Man, it's crazy. I didn't expect Wolverine to like get out in the Sweet 16, but
here's the thing. I didn't either. I was gonna fight for Wolverine really hard until like there's this soft spot for T'Challa that like exists for a really obvious reason. It's sad that it exists for that reason, obviously. But it's like I can't possibly take what we've seen in those X-Men movies, which are objectively not that good. I mean, they're solid, but they're not good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
They do Wolverine solid, but they don't do a lot else solid. You know what I'm saying? And there are times where they don't even do Wolverine all that solid. Hugh Jackman's just saving it. Whereas T'Challa, time and again, has been T'Challa on screen as we've seen him. And Chadwick Boseman, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better than Chadwick Boseman. So you got to go T'Challa here. It's just the obvious choice. And sorry to see Wolverine go, but it had to happen that way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it did.
Simply did.
This is I don't know.
Next one's fun because I'll explain. We got a 1 versus a 4. An Iron Man versus Sam Wilson. Now, it's time for me to confess something.
Okay.
You know, post Endgame, I'm feeling really high on Tony Stark. You know, I'm loving Tony Stark. Obviously, how could you not? And after the Endgame, I look back and I appreciate everything Tony Stark has done to get to this point, and I appreciate his arc all the more because of it. I didn't like Tony Stark until that, though.
That's fair. No, like it's either like it's truly you side with Cap or Tony. Like that, it kind of people fall into two camps. Did you you liked Cap? Correct.
Well, here's the thing: is that like growing up, I liked Cap more.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Tony was cool, but I thought he was a dick, which I didn't like. I thought Steve Rogers was like an honest, good dude. And the more I've become a little bit more politically savvy, and the more I've learned and stuff, I'm absolutely with Tony. These if there were superheroes flying around doing whatever the fuck they want, I'd go, they need to be kept in check because they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, like that's a boy situation.
Yeah, like they got to be kept in check in some way, shape, or form. However, I'm not all in on the fact that our government is the best way to keep them in check. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a really complicated balance, and I see where Steve Rogers is coming from. You know, I mean, he was born in the fucking 20s. He's grew up through World War II. Obviously, he's gung ho. Yo, we need our freedoms. I get to do whatever the fuck I want because I'm doing what's right. You know, and if I'm doing what's right, why should you stop me? I get that too. However, that is insanely white. That is so insanely white. Like, just consider for a moment anyone else trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're immediately shot down. And I mean, like, the fact that Cap was wanted, and like as far back as the Winter Soldier and stuff, like, he was on the lam, and like he had to go undercover, and like he broke the Sokovia Accord, so like we don't see him again until Infinity War. Like he's in hiding, he's on the lam. Like, if that happened to him, they would have been coming for anybody else's neck.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
So like there is a balance. Like growing up, I did think there was kind of two camps of you were either a fan of Captain America or either a fan of Tony Stark. You were typically not getting a lot of, yeah, I kind of like both of them. It was kind of usually one was like, that guy's kind of a douchebag, that guy's a goody-goody. Fuck both of, or fuck
Civil
one or the
War
other.
definitely like solidified camp. Like it felt like, well, whether it, like before Civil War, I think like there was kind of like already a divide between like Tony and Cap that people had. But after Civil War, like the divide almost it didn't really grow. It just I don't know. It was like there was Team Cap and Team Iron Man like that. Like literally people were talking about it like it was Civil War. Like you're going to talk about it. But like it was a different rivalry, kind of like a different divide after Civil War.
It's because there became parameters for like expressed outlines for what you were standing for if you enjoyed one character to the other. So like before that, it was just like, do you like the dude who flies around in a suit, who's a rich fuck boy, who kind of does whatever the fuck he wants, a little bit of a douchebag, but he's come to some nice realizations. He's ultimately doing what's best. Or do you like the guy who was like worthy? You know, like do you like the guy who is good and does what is right all the time and is deserving? And ultimately, I think that's the conundrum we're faced with here.
It's basically
with Sam Wilson versus Sam Wilson versus Iron Man.
I mean, it's basically Captain America versus Iron Man here. Like
it is Captain America versus Iron Man.
And you know, part of me is like Iron Man started all of this. Robert Downey Jr.'s performance is Iron Man, and he is Iron Man in real life. I love his character. I always have. But after I did a little ranking of every MCU movie, I realized...
more on that in episode 144, Eternals.
I realized Iron Man 2 and 3 aren't not really that good. Iron Man 1 rocks. One of my favorite movies. Like, it rocks. I love that movie. But I really only love Tony because of Infinity War and Endgame. I love Sam Wilson. His performance...
I've loved him since On Your Left. Where he was like, no, don't you say it. Don't say it. I loved that.
And Falcon and Winter Soldier is my favorite of the 3 shows to come out. 3 live action shows.
It's the best, I'd say.
And his character, like, the future for Sam Wilson is amazing. Like, he do this in 5 years. Sam Wilson is like
is a one
like
seat.
Yeah, he's becoming I hope a crucial, vital part of the MCU. Like,
well, they changed like the Disney Plus Marvel banner, and he is front and center.
That's good.
Marvel, baby. Like he is the focal point right now. He is the beacon, I think. I hope they're not just kind of tokenizing it, but instead actually admiring his character and doing him justice. There's been recent shit on the internet about how the CEO of Disney said that Captain America 4 is really going to be Sam Wilson earning the title of Captain America. And it's like,
didn't he already?
What did we just do for 6 episodes? So that was kind of, there's been some confusing sentiment around it on Disney's part, which is a little alarming. I'm going to choose to read that quote as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is about Sam accepting being Captain America, while Captain America 4 is about America accepting Sam as Captain America. That's how I'm going to see it for now. I hope that's how it ends up playing out, because I mean, like, ultimately we get to the end of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I'll just call it that for now. And I mean, like, you're naive as hell if you think Sam Wilson gets on news, makes that speech, and then immediately everybody in the country is like, I'm all in. That's Sam Wilson, baby. No, I'm sorry. I hate it. I hate that this is the case, but that's absolutely not what would happen. And frankly, like Isaiah Bradley has that conversation with him at the end of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's like, they'll never accept you. And Sam expressly says like I know I might die, but I've got to do this. So like, I think they made it clear at the end of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier that America hadn't quite accepted Sam as Captain America yet. Sam had just accepted the title of Captain America.
I mean, in the show, dude's just trying to get a loan, can't even get it. Steve Rogers walks into any bank. They're like, "Hey, do you just want like $100K?
You want the
like,
bank?
do you want to own us? I'm totally with you. As that movie, I will see it as not Sam earning the title, because he's already earned the title.
He's already earned it.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind about that. This is I hope that's what that movie is now.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, because if it truly is, like, that was just such a horrible way to word that, like, such a horrible phrasing there, and him earning the title of Captain America. It's America accepting him as Captain America is what it is. It's not, he already earned it. That's been done. It's the accepting that needs to happen. So that's where my head is at. And I think that's what I'm hoping that's what they meant. I guess we'll see come Captain America 4. All this to say, I personally enjoy Sam Wilson more than I like Tony Stark. However, you can't understate the value of him being in the first movie and doing the final snap. Like, it's like, obviously, this is the guy who they based the first 10 years of Marvel around. It's pretty fucking important. Like, for me, I'm cool with whatever you want to do, because I get that Iron Man probably should win. I personally enjoy Sam Wilson more, but I do see why Iron Man should win. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just kind of where I stand. So up to you as of right now.
I don't know. Like, there is half of me that is like, Iron Man was my childhood and he was my guy. Like, the brain guy, like, he's a dick, obviously. Like, I don't like, but it's part of his character to be arrogant and a dick. In his arc,
he has an excellent arc.
His arc is beautiful. He's the one who snapped. I mean, Hulk snapped, and that's just another thing that they're tossing aside. Crazy that no one talks about the Hulk snap. Obviously,
we didn't even talk about the Hulk snap a little bit ago.
That dude snapped.
I thought about it on multiple occasions, but I was like, we've talked about it every week. Might as well.
That dude snapped, and he really tried to bring Nat back, but I think he did. I hope he did. They're just not showing that yet. Every universe needs a Nat. Without it, that world falls apart. And the Watcher saying that made me like hope that like there's going to be like a new resurgence of Black Widow.
Oh man,
maybe not as ScarJo, but
because here's the thing, I think that the stride we hit with the Black Widow movie, ultimately, I know that that's gotten a lot of shit online, but I think it really did resonate with a lot of people. Like, and it made them love that character all the more. And I think that we're in a place now. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of the litigation stuff that came down with ScarJo and Disney. I don't know how that all ended up playing out. But if they'd have her back, I would absolutely love that. And it is worth noting that on that new Disney Plus Marvel banner, she is right there alongside Sam Wilson, Captain Marvel, Wanda Maximoff, Thor.
That's good.
Like, she's right there. So maybe she's sticking around in some capacity, but we shall see.
This one, I'm legitimately down to coin flip. Because that's what this is to me right now. I think in 5 years, the clear winner Sam Wilson. But right now, as we're doing this bracket, I don't know if I could pick a winner. Like, because every reason that I love Iron Man, it's like I'm truly 50-50 here. Like, all
right, then you want to know what? If we're this 50-50, the only thing holding us back is the idea that Iron Man should win. That's the only thing holding us back at this point. Frankly, what I'm getting from this conversation is that both of us want Sam Wilson to win. But the only thing holding us back is the idea that Iron Man should. And therefore we got to go Sam Wilson.
I'm comfortable looking at how I actually enjoyed the character through the whole way out. I've never hated Sam Wilson. There have been times where I'm like, Tony, I don't know. Like, so
right.
It's just the nostalgia of Tony. It's childhood, you know. I love the brainy characters. The fact that he feels like the most real superhero, you know, most possible. Even like this could be a thing, but
you know who also could be a thing?
Without the super serum part, but or maybe I don't know. I guess that's
he
probably
doesn't
a
have
thing.
the super serum.
Oh my
part.
God, I didn't even think about that.
Sam Wilson is just a dude with a pair of wings.
Wow. All that, like, why have I thought in my head that this guy has super serum? Like,
never touched the stuff.
No. Oh. God, I love this character. Oh my
God, he's so cool. He's the best. No, like it's crazy how well he's aged too. Like the Falcon, this is like I'm officially out on the it might be recency bias. It's not. This dude is just that good of a character at this point. And you know what? Therefore, down goes a 1 seed. Down goes a 1 seed to Sam Wilson, Captain America.
And a boy.
And
this is a deserved win. This is a deserved win.
I'm proud of him.
And man, these matchups are lining up just so
well.
Come on, man.
So this will be part 1 of the Sweet 16. Go over to part 2 of the Sweet 16 where we continue this conversation on the next half of the bracket. We've got 4 more matchups on that side, 8 more characters, 4 to say goodbye to.
This side's harder.
The side's harder. So head over there right now and check it out. This was the Penny Bloom podcast. I was Colton Robertson, and that was Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Head to Twitter and follow @PennyBloomPod, where we are going to be laying out the polls for you to vote on here. You get to vote which characters you think are best on our Twitter. Then head to Instagram and follow @PennyBloomPodcast. And hell yeah, go check out Sweet 16 Part 2. Do it right now. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves, bitch.